In this question, a scientist has a 0.673 molar cesium hydroxide solution and a hydrofluoric acid solution of an unknown concentration. The scientist uses the cesium hydroxide as the titrant in the burette and 0.0294 litres of the hydrofluoric acid as the analyte in the conical flask. So in our conical flask, we have 0.0294 litres of hydrofluoric acid. And then we're adding to that a 0.673 molar cesium hydroxide solution. Again, we've been given the titration curve for this reaction. We can find our equivalence point by looking for the flex in that curve. Here's our equivalence point. That's the moment where the number of moles of our cesium hydroxide added is the same as the number of moles of our hydrofluoric acid we had initially because they react completely together. That is happening at a volume of 0.03 litres. So we need to add 0.03 litres of cesium hydroxide to completely react with the hydrofluoric acid. So here we've got 0.03 litres of that. So now we know how many litres and we know the molarity of cesium hydroxide. So we can use that to figure out the number of moles. Here's our molarity equation. Molarity equals to the number of moles divided by the volume. We're trying to find the number of moles, so let's multiply by the volume on both sides, so that will cancel on the right, leaving us with the number of moles is equal to the molarity times the volume. Our molarity was given in the question as 0.673, multiplied by our volume, which we just found was 0.03 from our graph. That gets us the number of moles of 0.0202 moles of cesium hydroxide. So let's go ahead and fill that in. Awesome. So how many moles of hydrofluoric acid were present initially? Well, we already decided that that point, the equivalence point, is the moment where the number of moles of cesium hydroxide added is equal to the number of moles of hydrofluoric acid we had initially. So here, this is going to be the same. It's going to be 0.0202 moles of hydrofluoric acid. So we know how much volume we had of hydrofluoric acid initially. Now we know how many moles were present, so we can use that to figure out the initial concentration. Again, using our molarity equation, molarity equals the number of moles divided by the volume. It's already arranged for molarity, so we can put in the number of moles we just found, which was 0.0202, divided by the volume given in the question, which was 0.0294. If we put that into a calculator, we're going to get out a molarity of 0.687 molar. Awesome. So we figured out the concentration of the HF solution. Next, we're asked to use the data recorded in the experiment to figure out the pKa and the Ka for hydrofluoric acid. Remember, Ka is the acid dissociation constant. Let's head to our reference sheet and see if there's anything useful we can find. Here is the acids and bases page of the reference sheet, and we're going to be looking at the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation for pH, since we're talking about an acid. pH is equal to pKa plus log of the concentration of the conjugate base divided by the concentration of the acid. Now in this question, our acid is HF and our conjugate base will be F-. So we can add that in our equation here. The easiest way to find pKa is to find the moment where this log is going to be equal to 0. Now log of 1 is equal to 0. So if we can find a time where that fraction equals 1, at that moment, the pKa will be equal to the pH. So we need that fraction, F minus over HF, concentrations, to be equal to 1. So let's multiply by the concentration of HF on both sides to cancel out the concentration on the left. So at that point, the concentration of F minus has got to be equal to the concentration of HF. And that moment will be at our half equivalence point, because we start off with just HF. A very small amount of that dissociates to give F minus, but mostly we just have HF to start with. When we get to our equivalence point, all the HF has reacted to form F minus. So halfway between that, which will be this point on the graph here at 0.015, that is the moment where half of our HF has reacted to form F minus, and the rest of it is still as HF. So we've got an equal concentration of HF and F minus. That is our half equivalence point. And at that moment, the pH is equal to the pKa. So if we go ahead and figure out our pH at that point, it's 3. And we substitute that all into this equation, we have at that point F minus equal to HF. So this just cancels out because log of 1 is equal to 0. And we're left with our pH is equal to our pKa, where we know our pH is 3. So what that tells us is our pKa for HF is going to be 3. So let's go ahead and fill that in here. Awesome. So just to summarize what we need to do there, to find our pKa, we're looking for the pH at the half equivalence point, which is halfway from the beginning to the equivalence point. Finally, to find the Ka, we're going to need to use our pH to pKa conversion. Now, pKa is P of Ka, and remember P just means negative log. So if we want to find Ka, we're going to have to rearrange this equation for Ka. So I'm going to multiply everything by -1 to start with, to get rid of my negatives on the right. That gives me negative pKa is equal to log of Ka. And then remember, log is the inverse function of 10 to the power of. So if we do 10 to the power of both sides, 10 to the power of negative pKa is equal to 10 to the power of log of Ka. Since 10 to the power of and log are inverse functions, those are going to cancel out, and we're left with 10 to the power of negative pKa is equal to Ka. So we can go ahead and put in our numbers there. Ka is equal to 10 to the power of negative pKa, where pKa is 3. So that ends up getting us a Ka of 0.001. So we can go ahead and fill that in over here. Awesome. Okay, so to summarize, the first part of this question is identical to the previous skill where we were looking at using the titration curve to figure out the initial concentration of a strong acid or base. This time, because we have a weak acid or base, we can also use our titration curve to figure out the pKa and Ka of the acid, or in other words, the pKb and Kb of the base if we're starting with a weak base instead. To do that, we need to look at the half equivalence point, that's halfway from the beginning to the equivalence point, and find the pH at that moment. Because according to the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, if the concentration of the acid and conjugate base are the same, which happens at the half equivalence point, the log part of the equation becomes 0 and our pH is equal to our pKa. So to find our pKa, we just need to find our pH at the half equivalence point. And then finally, to find our Ka from that, we need to use the pKa equation and rearrange it for Ka, plug in our pKa to that value to find our Ka.